What's good? We back with some more boxing talk. It's the Boxing Clinic and more. Y'all know what it is. Let's jump right on into it today. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. says that on ESPN, I'm gonna link the interview in the description, that Andre Ward will not be remembered in boxing history. And when I first heard it, I'm like, made me interested. And headlines could be deceiving, but he stood on that and he supported it with factual base, statements to back it up. I'm gonna break it down what he said pretty much, but watch the interview so you get the full gist. I'm paraphrasing here. He said he was shocked like everybody else to see that it was happening. And I'm gonna talk about why it happened. I talked about it before, but he said he was shocked that it happened. He says that he was very excited to see the way Andre Ward, handled Kovalev, and I think he said he'd never seen him fight like that. He was so offensive, and he was getting very excited about basically him starting to bubble and starting to become a household name in boxing. We know he's a household name. I'm paraphrasing here, but become known by everybody. And he said when he retired, it's like you can go on the street and ask people like, who is Andre Ward? And a lot of people won't even know who he is. And that's facts. And he says like he just has so much more to give to the sport of boxing, he felt, and had so much more to gain as far as his popularity. As far as accomplishments, can't nobody argue with what Andre Ward did. But as far as PR and being marketed the right way, I think that's what Chavez Jr. is talking about. He just probably feels that he wasn't marketed the right way, and a lot of people, slept on on an all-time great Andre Ward. He says you never can be mad at a guy who walks away from boxing on his own terms, because it doesn't usually happen that way. You either get retired out of boxing, or some tragic event takes you out of boxing. A lot of people that walk away from boxing or retire from boxing usually comes back. And he said you got to respect this man, everything he did. He was a great fighter, but he left a lot on the table as far as ground and gain his popularity and being one of the great fighters in boxing. And thus he came to the conclusion like he won't be remembered. He's right on that. A lot of people not gonna remember from generation to generation now. Oh, Andre Ward, the way they remember Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Chavez Sr., guys like that, Marvin Hagler, Ali, all those names are entrenched in boxing. When you say boxing, the first thing you think of is a lot of those guys' names. And for him not to get that marquee fight that really built, even for a guy like Aaron Hawk Pryor, for a guy, rest in peace, that was a great fighter. But ultimately his legacy was remembered and defined by fighting Alexo Arguello and beating him 2 times. Even it came with some baggage in the first fight. He redeemed himself in the second fight, was able to a lot of people ever put that on the back burner. Andre Ward didn't have that type of fight. His best fight, memorable fight for most people was Kovalev, and it was overshadowed by shitty records, shitty ticket sales, shitty pay-per-view, the first fight and the second fight. It was overshadowed by a lot of things. It wasn't marketed right, and the Eastern European Kovalev wasn't known just as much as Andre Ward wasn't known in his own country, because he exclusively fought in California and on the West Coast, and he fought in Atlantic City one time versus Carl Froch. He didn't get that public notoriety. And was he promoted wrong? Yes. And he made a lot of bad business decisions. 1, not capitalizing on fighting Lucian Bute after the Super 6. 2, re-signing with Goosen. 3, when Goosen died, his family released him out of his promotional contract. He goes sign to Rock Nation, another startup. Bad moves. I understand that James Prince didn't want him to probably sign with Al Heyman, but it would have been different. You'd have got a lot more money fucking with Al Heyman or Top Rank. You got a lot of money messing with them. Top Rank would have made sure he was good. I know they don't promote black fighters well, but Andre Ward was established at that point, and it was no issue putting him against anybody from 68 to 75. He was gonna smash him. And when you got that type of confidence, like they got on Terrence Crawford, you do what you want to do with him, and they not that hard to market it. But he dropped the ball. He made a lot of bad business decisions, but he must have made a lot of money doing a lot of business decisions and learning how to be business savvy from James Prince, who was one of the most successful businessmen in the rap industry, in the boxing game, and in business world overall. He's a very wealthy man, and I'm pretty sure he passed the knowledge in the game down to Andre Ward. I'm pretty sure Floyd Mayweather took something from being with James Prince, some business savvy things, before they split up. So, he said he went from, working with James Prince to being partners with James Prince. I'm pretty sure he's fine. He's happy with his broadcasting career. At the end of the day, most of the younger generation may know him as a broadcaster more than they know him as a fighter. And I think that's what Chavez Sr. was trying to hit at. But he was sparring the other day, and maybe he might make a comeback. But the reason that he really retired was the simple fact that he had to go through the other big promotional or advisor manager company. He had to go through Al Heyman. He had on so many of the fighters. Top Rank owned so many of the fighters. He had to work with main events again. And, I don't think he wanted to bow down to none of them. I don't think he wanted to get a raw deal like he got with Kovalev. Get Kovalev a raw deal. He wasn't going, he wasn't going to mess over Adonis Stevenson, Marcus Brown, Arthur Betterbeeb, Bivol for bad deals. It wasn't going to happen. They was going to get their line share. And that's why he decided to walk away from the game. It was money. We gone.